What's up, YouTube? My name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny J TV. Welcome to another episode of Kenny J TV. If this is your first time, feel free to browse around and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for my latest notification. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to Kenny J TV. In this video, before I even get into that, I just recorded a great day in the life video. Me and one of my friends, my longest friend, we went out for the day and we worked in Charlotte, went out to lunch and worked a little bit more. And it was a really great time and I was able to record that. Really wanted to get out the house today and spend time with people that mean the most to me. So it was a really good day. I kind of killed two birds with one stone. I was able to work and I was able to spend time with my friend as well. So it was a really good time. By popular demand, I am putting out this video. This video is, of course, as you've seen by the title, this video is questions you should be asking the agency owner if you are applying for a new position. Whenever I get on calls with people, they book calls and say, well, I'm starting with this company, this agency, but I don't know what to ask the agency owner. This video is for you. And even if you haven't talked to me, but you're going through this video is for you. My biggest thing is when you're talking to these agency owners, just as much as they're interviewing you, you should be interviewing them as well to make sure that they are the right fit for you and to make sure that you're not jumping from job to job every 3 months, because I know that can be exhausting and you want to get somewhere that professionally you can call home. One of the first questions everyone should ask, and so many times across so many fields. So of course I always mentor and guide people in the insurance industry, but a lot of people don't know that I mentor people outside of the insurance industry as well, because business is business no matter where you go. I was able to, by the grace of God, build a successful business that is still growing, and I want to be able to help people in all aspects of business, whether that's insurance, whether it's real estate, whether it's finance, whatever that is. I want to be able to help. And one thing that a lot of employees don't do, or a lot of people that are interviewing for a job, they don't come out and ask about the numbers, the pay, commission, whatever that payment structure is. They're not talking about it in the first interview. One of my friends actually had, I think it was 6 interviews before he found out how much he was getting paid. And my thing is, of course, this company is great. We're having a great time. This company stands for what I love. But if it's not matching up with what you need to make to survive, to meet certain goals, don't waste your time. So I always tell people to ask about pay, commission structure, and they say, well, I don't want to be up front or forward, but you should. This is your career, and just as much as they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them. So that is one of the first things that you should think about when going into these interviews. It may not be the first thing you ask in the interview, but within that first interview, compensation at some point should come up. A great question I love to ask when I was interviewing before I had my business was, is there room for growth? Some companies, there's no room for growth. It may be a smaller company or bigger company and they just need that position filled. Or it could be a company that's looking to hire you and they promote from within. You want to know where they stand and where you stand as well. You may be fine with just having a producer job, making your commission and going home, but some people want to go to that managerial level or want to oversee other agents, mentor them as well. So you have to make sure that this aligns with what you want as well. You also want to ask the management style of your manager, supervisor, your upline, whatever that looks like. You want to ask what their management style is. If you're a type of person that, I like my manager to be hands-off and I can get the work done, but they are a micromanager, it's not going to work. No matter how many conversations you have, there may be some compromise, but why even go into a position where you know you're going to be micromanaged? It's going to frustrate you, and in turn, it may even affect your numbers or your work. This is a very, very important question, because if you do not find out the management style until you've already signed the contract and now you're working for them, you're in a whirlwind of trouble. So always ask about the management style and why they decided to choose that management style, because that can give you perspective as to why they lead the team that way. So we talked about commission, we talked about management styles. You also should be asking about renewals. I have talked to agents that have been in insurance longer than me and were not aware about renewals, why they weren't getting paid renewals. If you are big on getting paid on renewals, because insurance is a residual game, I've seen the residuals, I've seen the snowball effect, the compounding effect. If you're big on that, you need to be asking this question up front. Some agency owners may say things like, oh, well, you're getting a base pay, so that replaces commission. You need to be clear on exactly what you are and are not getting paid on, because I would hate for someone to sign up with an agency, apply for an agency, get the job. Year 2 comes around and you're like, why am I not getting paid on any of these renewals? And the conversation was never had. Now you're disappointed or upset or looking for another job. It's so important to get all of these questions, all of these concerns out in the open right in the beginning, so you're able to squash anything or decide maybe I need to move on because this is not the best fit for me. And piggybacking off of that, you also should be asking about benefits. For me, when I was with the State Farm office I was working for, we had full benefits, life insurance, disability, I believe. We had dental, vision, health, all that good stuff. And if that is important to you or something that you need, you should be asking that as well. When they say, do you have any questions? These should be the questions that you are asking. This is your job. This is your livelihood. If you have kids that you know need health insurance and you do not have health insurance on your own, this should be something that you're asking for. And even if they say no, I've even seen times where they have negotiated with the agency owner and now they're paying half of their health insurance or what have you. So you do not know until you ask. And as I always say, closed mouths don't get fed. And I'm a prime example of that. Actually, just I think a week or 2 ago, I reached out to one of my carriers. I was up for a bonus, but the percentage of my persistency rate was a little lower than what it actually needed to be, because back in April, a big policy canceled. I don't know if I talked about this in the Day in the Life video, but one of the policies canceled and it took me right under that percentage. I reached out and I showed them my numbers and I still got the bonus. But had I never reached out, emailed them and told them why I deserved it, I would have been out of $1,500. So always ask, put your needs out there, because this is your job and this is your life and you should be in control of that. Also, you should be asking about the company culture. The company culture can be very important. If you're virtual, you may not see it as much, but you always want to ask, if you're having to go into the office or even on the calls, what is the company culture here? What do you all value in this agency? That right there alone will tell you a lot about the agency owners, the team, all of that. It may be something that you align with perfect. It may be something that you do not align with at all. But again, it's very important to get all of that information up front so there are no surprises along the way. I always like to ask for examples as well of how the team collaborates and communicates. What is the best style? And how is this really effective? Is this a good way for the team to communicate? The more you know the communication and collaboration style of the team, the better you will fit in from day one. If they have one style and you have a completely different style and you're going in there with your style, it can throw off the feng shui or the vibe of the office. One that a lot of people don't like to ask, but I think is very important, is what are some challenges that this agency is facing and how is it being addressed? Had I asked that question, now, I always tell people, ask that question, please, please, please. But had I asked that question, I could have saved myself from a job or two when I was working for someone that I could have just not even went to the job. I could have went somewhere else and got the same experience, same knowledge, just with less drama, less things that I shouldn't have to deal with. So ask that, and then how they're handling it and how they're dealing with it definitely tells you, okay, I can deal with this, or this is not something that I'm willing to deal with or take on being a part of this team. And the last question you should ask them is there any flexibility for hybrid or remote work? And if you don't know what hybrid is, half in office, half at home or remote, because some people value remote work. I value remote work. I sometimes like to work in the office, but I mostly like to work remote. Remote is nice. I was at the co-working space today. I can go to a coffee shop. I can be in my home office. I can be in the bed, wherever. I love having the freedom to come and go as I please. But every now and then it's nice to be in an office setting with colleagues and so forth. But being remote, I hold dear to my heart. So if that's important to you because you have children or you have a schedule that you need to be at home because you're taking care of someone, this needs to be something that you voice the first interview, because if they're not willing to have any flexibility for remote work and you really need remote work, this isn't really the job for you at all. So those are a few questions that I highly recommend you ask an agency owner if you're applying to be a part of their insurance agency. If you're currently working for an insurance agency owner or you're an agency owner yourself, what are some things that you like to ask or like to hear people that are interviewing for your company? What are some things that you like to hear them ask or hear them say? Put that in the comment box below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for my latest notification. We are dropping some videos. We're getting some content out because that's what we gonna do. It is November. Uh-oh. Sorry, my car's talking to me. It is November 2023. We're finishing out Q4 of this year strong. Don't forget to write down your goals for next year and be intentional with them all. Again, my name is Kenny J, the insurance guru, and this is Kenny J TV.